Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Friday, May 17th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, solid. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. Liquidity right there. Going down to the 8-hour. Down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. $30-minute. 15-minute. There's actually a lot of liquidity that's built up over the past couple of days since you've been in the sideways market. So there was a lower level right here, just got hit actually right now, this big dump that just happened. I'm looking at my NinjaTrader chart, so I saw this big red candle come down. So let's go down to the 1 minute. There was a liquidity sitting down here, but you can see how price just dumped down real quick on this previous candle. So here goes the closest levels of liquidity to current price. Price is right here down the middle. Closest level above is going to be at 40,037. Closest level below is going to be at 39,984. So there goes the first two levels of liquidity closest to price. Looks like people are still making their win. So good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, May 17th. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm going to go over to the clean chart. Markup 6:30. Markup 8 o'clock. Go up to the 4-hour time frame real quick. Identify structure. We got structure right here. And we got structure down here. Structure down here. Going down to the 1-hour. Pretty much same thing. Okay, so we have structure marked up already. So looking at current price, it is currently bouncing off the support level right now. See what happens in a few. Here is our main chart. I don't believe there was any news this morning. There's just news at 7:17. That's about it. Some loans medium impact news. 7 to 7:15. There we go. All right, guys. So it looks like we're pretty much good to go for the most part. See who's here so far. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kevin. Happy Friday, Hawk. Morning. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Nick. Morning, William. Morning, Delicia. Morning, Jake. Good morning, everybody. All right, so it looks like majority of you guys are here. Nick said slow day, no news, and Fed, no one cares. Is speaking. Yeah, exactly. So there's not really too much causing volatility in the market. I'm surprised to see this spike right here, pre-market. But I mean, we'll just work with it. We'll see if there's anything that we can take here. Probably, hopefully today will just be a smooth day, since there's no news or anything like that. Hopefully the volatility picks up a little bit. The one thing that I do want to mention, guys, is that I spoke with John yesterday, one of our members here in the group. You guys have probably seen him post his profits. We discussed how we should probably tighten our stop loss, especially with the low volatility. So we've already tightened it slightly because of the low volatility from 30 to 25, and I'm tightening it a little more to 20. So as of now, I'm using a 1020 TP stop loss. I'm going to try to tighten it even more to 1015. From previous results and all of the, I guess like the previous trades for the past 2 months, basically, the drawdown never goes down past like 10 points. So if that's the situation, damn, look at this crazy market. What the fuck's going on? You guys see this? This is crazy. What's going on here? Let me pull up. I don't see anything going on today. That is pretty crazy. GameStop shares 20%. Shares fall 20% after it falls to sell additional stocks. Yeah, just sit tight for a little bit, guys. Wait for this market here to kind of stabilize a little bit. I said low volatility and this thing spiked. And there's no news, so there's nothing causing, like there's no real reason for price to spike like this. Yeah, just sit tight for a little bit, guys. You don't want to jump in too early or do anything that you may regret. Yeah, that was a crazy spike. It wasn't even like, here, let me measure real quick. I want to measure that range. I want to see how much it spiked. I mean, it looks big. I'm not sure if it's really that big. No, it was big. It was like almost 100 points. That's like 1,000 pips. So yeah, chill out a little bit and wait for this here. You guys can see exactly where it spiked from too. It spiked legit from the support. Like it came down to the support really hard and then it spiked right back up and then it came right back down. So I would just sit tight for a little bit. The market is moving a little crazy right here. You guys can see this random volatility. Liquidity got hit on both sides. So depending on which one you decided to take, the lower level here got hit. And the upper level got hit. But back to what I was saying earlier, guys, I'm tightening my stop loss to 20 points. So I'm doing a 1020 right now. Eventually, as we get closer to summer, I'll probably tighten it even more to like maybe 1015, but not right now. I got to let it I got to see how the market's moving, because if the ATR picks back up and it's volatile again, then obviously we'll have to go back to 30. Yeah, 1020 for right now. Same contract size. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like John said over here, he said he didn't do any back testing on liquidity or non-official entries, only the official entries in the journal. Yeah, exactly. So if you're gonna do liquidity, you might want to still go for the 1030 guys, because these moves are very fast, right? So if you're taking liquidity, I don't think you should use a tight stop loss, or maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Depends on how the market's moving. But typically when liquidity gets hit, the volatility is very high, right? So for liquidity, I'll leave that up to you guys. I don't take liquidity very much. So if I do take it, I'll let you know what I'm doing. But for the most part, the changes to TP stop loss is only for the official trades that I'm taking here, like John said. because John actually looked back to like the previous, month or 2 months, and he noticed that whenever we lose a trade, it just loses, right? The trade loses. But all of our winning trades, there's like literally no drawdown. So if you guys go to the spreadsheet, just go to the spreadsheet, look at all the trades here. If you look at every trade that's won, it typically doesn't go into drawdown very much. So it would be smart for us to tighten our TP stop loss. I've been thinking about tightening the TP stop loss for a while now. I just didn't really make the leap because no one really pushed for it, right? And it was just a safety net. But John messaged me yesterday, and I was like, I might as well just make a move now because I've been thinking about making that move for. I was gonna wait until actual summer because the market volatility has been, pretty slow. But we're getting close to summer, and the volatility hasn't really picked up very much. As you guys have seen, the ATR it has never been like past 15 consistently. It's always been below 15, and that makes it okay for us to make these small adjustments here. So yeah, John actually he told me that yeah, you can see over there in the chat. He said basically last 14 out of the basically last 15 trades, he's only been using a 10-point stop loss, and price never draws down that far, like not even down to 10. So that's why I'm saying, the 15 might be good. The thing is, it works well in a low volatility market. In a high volatility market, it's a little tricky. So if the ATR picks up a little too high, you might have to make some adjustments to adhere to the ATR. But the ATR has been super low lately. So I mean, John's been doing, if you can do a 10-10, that's golden, right? Because that'll make things so much easier. Like whenever you take a loss, it's not going to set you back that far. Um, so yeah, no, definitely. Big thanks to John for bringing that up because I haven't really studied the previous trades. But it's pretty obvious because the ATR has been super slow. Today, the ATR is actually a bit higher. As you guys can see, the ATR is currently at 17 ATR. We have a sell signal right here. So if the sell signal closes, I'm going to be looking for a possible momentum divergence. Yeah, John said not financial advice, just observation. Yeah, exactly. That's what you need. You just need to observe the difference there. So like what John mentioned, the 10-10 is good, but I want to factor in slippage, right? So whenever you enter a trade, typically the slippage is going to be a little bad. So if you do want to use a 10-10, what you can do is you can enter the trade with a 10-20, and then you can make adjustments based on what your TP stop loss is on the on TradingView. That's pretty much what I've been doing. Right. Whenever we enter a trade, I typically will adjust it to whatever the TP stop loss is on TradingView. Because sometimes you'll get a better entry, sometimes you'll get a worse entry. It just kind of depends on how the volatility is upon entry point. So guys, we have a sell signal right here. Looking for opportunity here. So there's a possible PRV over here that's also pending right now. So price pushed up, price came back below, rejection right there, space consolidation candle. So if price swings back up, it comes back down. This is going to be the PRV entry. Looking over here on our main chart, we're looking for price to kind of retrace up a little bit and come back down. That's going to be a momentum divergence. So you guys can see the divergence down here is still bearish. We need this to retrace back a little bit. So basically swing up a little bit and correction back down. Yeah, exactly. Nick said, got to push out of this area. Got too many sessions in opening price. Yeah, exactly. So we need price to push below. I mean, even if it pushes below, though, it's not going to be too far because we have the Asia low down here. So we would need price to push like way far down here, right? Like for us to be in a safe area to take sells. That's where price would need to push down, and vice versa. If price pushes up, we would need price to push past the opening price up here, right? So let me go and mark up structure over here. Well, we don't really need too much because we already have the support down below, but we do have a resistance up here. So this here is the current range. You guys can see it's pretty obvious here. This is the range of current price. It's just right down the middle. So we got that right there. Both levels of liquidity already gotten hit. Price is currently ranging between these two structures. We got the support level right here. We got the resistance level up there. Price just keeps going back and forth. Yeah, Rashida said, yeah, price below session is key. Exactly what I'm looking for too, guys. All right, so we just gotta wait here, see if we get some movement. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to maybe swing up a little bit, bounce off maybe one of these pivots, and then come back down. I don't think there's enough space here for momentum divergence though. So I mean, we'll have to just play by ear. But the momentum divergence is what I'm mainly looking for here because it's going to be too hard to take any high-low scalps. You guys can see all the high lows over here are around the session, so it's probably not going to work out fine. There was a breakout V3 continuation right here. The problem is that it's close to the sessions again, so a little tricky. So there's technically a breakout V3 continuation that's still currently running right now. I'm not going to get into this late, so I'm not going to pummel into any entries, but there is a breakout V3 continuation that is currently running right now. It's right here. We had a sell signal, red candle following it, BV3C. Not a typical breakout V3, but again, it's very close to the session. So it's running right now. I'm going to take it off because I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position, but I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a breakout V3 continuation that's currently running here. I mean, I personally wouldn't have taken it because you guys can see the momentum signal here is touching the session. So that's going to trigger one of my red flags, of course. So it's going to be hard to take any other entries. You're going to have to look for, I think a momentum divergence is probably going to be the only thing that you can really look for in between this area here, because everything else is kind of just all over the place. So I was hoping we get retracement, but not a buy signal. Like I'm okay with it to inch up a little bit, a little bit of a pending buy signal come up a little bit, disappear, pending buy signal come up, disappear, and then it comes crashing right back down. If that's the case, then great. I'll look for a momentum divergence right there. But we can't get a buy signal here because if we do, this is going to invalidate our opportunity for momentum divergence because we need to keep it bearish. All right. So we got this over here. Again, I was hoping we'd inch up a little bit, maybe small green candles to the upside, just for it to push up a little bit, a little higher, not enough to touch the session, but just enough to push up and then come right back down and then possibly take our sell entry at some point down here. So the ATR is dropping back down. We had this huge volatility happen over here, and then the ATR is now starting to drop down again. So yeah, next to the daily candle is currently a doji right now. I think it's because of this big spike, right? This price spiked up and it came right back down. That's why the doji came up. But yeah, it is odd for the daily candle. Price is kind of where it was yesterday. If you scroll back a little bit, market didn't really move much since yesterday. I mean, it came back and forth and then it ended up closing down here. So realistically, I mean, our opening prices are on the same area. So price, it kind of went back and forth a lot yesterday, but didn't necessarily move directional. I just sat there. I only know that because I forgot to clean up the charts. And I saw over here from the PRB chart that it was like up here. So Makes sense. Looks like the PRB is currently running right now, guys. So we had a rejection over here, a rejection, space consolidation, another rejection right here. So this right here is the PRB entry, actually. I didn't even notice it was running right now. The PRB is currently running and active. So we'll come back and take a look. Like I said, I'm waiting for this to kind of swing up and swing back down. We don't have that swing down yet, but we'll see what happens here in a few. Yeah, next did the same this morning. Saw the sessions and news price because I tend to leave them pure laziness, but seems to be helpful for future stuff. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I usually clean up my charts before we get on this live, but um, I just been in the same routine of like getting into my trade and then just leaving my charts alone until the next day. So there's no momentum divergence coming yet. As you guys can see, it's still bullish. You can see over here from the divergence. The divergence kind of gives you a hint. You can see over here that it's still swinging up, even though we had a red candle right there. That's basically showing you that, okay, price is probably going to keep pushing up a little more before it comes down. Unless you get a spike, right? A spike to the downside, which can happen as well. But if these candles move in normal fashion, looks like price is probably just going to consolidate here a little bit before it swings up and then it comes back down. But you guys can see over here from the clean chart, it's pretty obvious. Price is having trouble getting past the support, right? It's trying to it's trying to push below, but it's just consolidating down here at the support level. There's no other levels here. So until we get more levels, I will mark it up. But at this very moment, let me smooth this over a little bit. Yeah, there's not really much to work with here. There's no breakout V3s. There's no nearby liquidity because price is still sitting in this area. Price just inching back and forth here. So let's take a look at the overall market. So looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently up. They're flat. They're up like 0.38 points. So they're not really anywhere. Looking over here at the news for today, we have news at 7 and 7:15, low impact to medium impact. Over here on the retail sentiment is currently 74% short. This indicates that 74% of retail traders are currently selling right now. Retail traders have been selling for a long time now, for the past, I mean, I'd say 2 months, maybe since January. Sellers have been not necessarily in control, but they've been trying to sell off on the Dow because the Dow is so high. So a lot of retailers on the sell side, looking over here at the technicals. So the 1 minute's bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minute is neutral, 1 hour is bullish, and the 4 hour is bullish. So the higher time frames are still very bullish, while the lower time frames they're more on the neutral side, along with the 30 minute. So they were trying to shift back to the downside, but it looks like we're probably going to get a correction back up. We have again a pending buy signal right here. Looks like it's going to be some time until we get this flip. So just nothing to work with right now. Price is literally going sideways. So we got this random spike here on open. I don't know what happened here on open. There was no news that came out for CNBC, no updates. You know, it's ironic. They have like golf here for CNBC the same day that Scotty Scheffler got arrested. I don't know if you guys saw this breaking news this morning. Scotty Scheffler, if you guys watch golf, assaulted a police officer. It's crazy. It's pulling a tiger. All right, so let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, MJ said just read that. You say got arrested on Rory Avenue. That's crazy, right outside, right? Right outside the golf club. Jason's asking you play golf. Yeah, I play golf. I mean, I can play. I'm not good, but I can play. I'm a bogey player. I haven't really played very much. I tried to play more last year and then I stopped. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into it. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. We might get a shift back to the upside, which is what I would prefer anyways. I would prefer to take buys here, guys. So I'm actually glad price is pushing up. We're no longer looking for sells. Well, we still have a sell trend right now. So the trend has not shifted yet. You can see it's pending. The trend meter is turning green. The momentum divergence is still climbing up. So you guys can see here what I showed you guys earlier. I said, even though price is going sideways, you guys saw that the divergence here was still shifting to the upside. I said, look out for the push to the upside, right? And that's exactly what happened here. So it's key to look at all of these different tools that I have because they're going to give you hints of what's to happen next. So price was pretty much going back and forth and we were getting red candles here, but the divergence was still swinging up to the upside, right? And I said, just look out for this because this can easily just push back up and it's going to continue climbing. That's exactly what happened here. So a lot of confluences here that you guys can use. You know, there's just not one tool here to use. There's multiple tools that you guys can use all together. So, all right, we got price pushing up here. The trend is starting to shift a bit. That's perfectly fine. I'd rather price be up here because there's no red flags up here. And it just makes more sense for us to trade up here anyways. So let's go to our clean chart. So you guys can see from a clean chart here, price is just pushing up to the upper range. So what we might see here is price going back to open. You guys can see this is the range right here, but the support is also going to be opening price. So that's like target price point here for this to climb up to. Back to opening price. So price is almost back to open right here. And it's back to open now. So price is right back to opening price. And we'll see here if it ends up coming back down. So there's two different scenarios here that can play out. Price will either bounce off opening price here and come right back down. Or price may break above, retest, and continue climbing up higher. Or price might just go sideways. There's too many scenarios here. So like obviously you won't want to trade around this area. You want to wait to see the confirmation after. So just wait to see how price reacts to this price point right here. You can see it rejected directly off opening price. See that nice wick? That wick over there pretty much gives a clean confirmation of price manipulation, right? That's why we don't trade around these horizontal lines. So any lines that go from left to right, blue line, purple line, green line, red line, pink line, etc. You don't want to trade around those areas because you guys can see how price gets manipulated around these lines, right? So sit tight. There's no confirmation of trend yet. The trend's almost confirmed, but not yet. So the thing that you can look out for here is a possible momentum divergence. The only problem is that it's going to be in between this area here. So I don't think we'll be able to trade within. I mean, technically we might be able to. Price comes down a little bit because we have the momentum divergence here shifting a little bit. The only problem here is that we're going to have opening price in the way. So here we go with a little shift right here to the downside. You guys can see the divergence is shifting down. Yeah, Nick said if it climbs higher, might get a triple confluence on the 5-minute. Yep. Well, that triple confluence will line up with this higher high right here. So either way, it'll probably come up on the same candle. All right, looks like we might get a momentum divergence here. The only problem with this here is that it's going to be at opening price. So it's not going to be one that I'm going to take and wait for the next one. Or it might be on the next candle. So I need this push up a little higher. That's too close. Yeah, it's not going to meet criteria because even if this pushes up a bit higher, it's I mean, it's still going to get stuck right there. It would be touching the opening price. So what I wouldn't mind here is I wouldn't mind if price kind of just consolidated here for a little bit, consolidated right here for a little bit, and then slowly made its climb up just away from the opening price, not to touch the opening price, of course, and then possibly give us opportunity for entry up here without touching the opening price, of course. That's the key thing here, right? You don't want price to touch opening price. That's going to invalidate it, make it a red flag. So we'll continue watching here. I'll just leave this markup here just in case we need it at the last second. But I will be watching it as well. So it looks like we're getting the shift ready from the momentum divergence. Unfortunately, we're not going to have entry here because it's right at the opening price. And the opening price is right at resistance. So it's just a tricky area right here. I mean, it's just as tricky as it was down here, right? You don't want to trade at the support. You don't want to trade at the resistance. It's tricky. You're within the range here. And the worst part is we can't trade within the range because there's all these red flags down here as well. All right. So this is the momentum divergence that we were looking for, but unfortunately it's at a red flag, so I'm not going to take the trade. If you guys want to take it, feel free. That's up to you. I'm not going to take the trade there because I'm not going to risk getting caught in a FOMO move on a Friday, right? Every trade I lose is because of FOMO. And I'm not going to take that FOMO move today. I'm going to hold off on it. So we'll see what this is over here. See, Nick said no triple confluence on the 5. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. All right, so what I'll look for here, where I'll probably take an entry, is I will look for price to push up a little bit, maybe consolidate and retrace right here. And then if we get a break and close past this higher high, and it also is a momentum divergence, then in that situation, I'll possibly take it. So just keep that in mind, guys. Because we can get that still. It's just a matter of time. So you guys can see this volatility is extremely low. So this is what I was talking about earlier with with John's observation about like how, we can tighten the stop loss a little bit because there's just no movement. But the problem is that like we get random movement at random times, like this over here. I'm still curious what caused a spike here because this is a 100-point move. That's a really big move when there's nothing there's just nothing going on. The fundamentals are pretty much, well, they're picking up now. They're at 50 points. Yeah, there's no updates here. I mean, the only update is test the layoffs. Man, it's crazy how many layoffs are happening. I have friends that work in corporate at a lot of these bigger companies, and there's people are getting laid off left and right. It's crazy. I think I saw an article today too. It said that California has the most number of layoffs out of all the states. It's crazy. Let's see, Nick said news in 4 minutes, low impact, but news nonetheless. Probably just a large order placed in anticipation of something next week. Definitely not retail. Yeah, 100%. This is definitely not retail. Retail cannot push price like this. Like you guys have seen how retail pushes like GameStop, like a single stock. People can do that. They can push a single stock, but pushing an index, the cost of one index is 40,000, right? An average American does not have 40,000 to put like one little push in one direction. So it's obviously whenever you guys see these big moves here, this is why I like trading YM, because YM is like one of the most expensive indexes that you can trade. And all these moves are not from retail. All these moves are always going to be from the whales of the market makers, institutions, etc., hedge funds, stuff like that. You're not going to see retail really pushing price. Like you're not going to see a bunch of us here or a bunch of people like, hey, let's push the Dow, right? That would cost so much money to push the Dow even just a little bit. So you guys got to keep that in mind. Like if you guys are going to compare like a stock to an index, it's a totally different playing field. Let's see what we got over here. All right, so there's still nothing going on here. As you guys can see, the divergence here. I like that it's split up now. See how it's really split up right here, and it's widening out. This is perfect because it's giving us enough time for it to push back up to the higher high right here, and then if it breaks past this area, we'll have a high-low scalp past this higher high. Plus, we'll have a momentum diversion. So I prefer to see it kind of spread out like it is right now because it's obviously making a lot clearer when price does swing back up. But again, the volatility is very low. It's currently at 13 ATR. So you can't really take many entries. Like you can't take a MPS. I mean, if you really wanted to take an MPS, I guess you could have taken one, or the setup actually would have happened right here. So there is an MPS that's currently running right now, but it's at opening price. So obviously red flag. There's a lot of entries that have been coming up, but there's just a bunch of red flags here. You guys can see the sessions down here. You see the opening price right here. It's not a good area to be trading in right now currently. Here's the news candle. I'm glad news candle happened around opening price, so they're right next to each other. Let's see. So Nick said, dude, that reminds me of a time I showed a friend how we trade. And instead of doing that, he decided to take a large chunk of change and just put it in the Dow, treated it like a bank account during that bubble when it was going up, when the market had some good consolidation. He was, to say the least, depressed. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the Dow is a long-term investment. Like if you were to take it, you would just leave it in there, right? Like for me personally, I have long-term investments in QQQ. QQQ is similar. This pretty much follows NQ, so Nasdaq basically. So I have investments in here just for my IRA accounts, and that stuff I just don't touch. Like, shouldn't really expect it to really do much because it's going to go up and it's going to go down. Eventually, you're going to hope that it continues to climb up higher, which it should, but not always the case. Like those things are just all of my IRA accounts, they're just there for tax haven. So I just started putting money in the IRA, I think like 3 or 4 years ago. So I probably deposited about like 20,000 and I'm up like maybe 23,000. Every year I'm typically up like around 10%. So, but that's like money I'm not gonna touch until I'm like 70. So by the time it gets to that point, it'll be like in the millions. Let's see, Kevin said calling it a week, got some profit today. Just want to end it since it's Friday. See y'all next week. Definitely, Kenneth. We'll see you back here on Monday, bro. So have a great weekend. All right, we got some team profits over here from Kenneth. So Kenneth made 10,290 for the day. Nice work, Kenneth, right there. Total profit of 37,702 for the week so far. Nice work, Kenneth. So solid profits right there. Yeah, if I was in your situation, I would just call it a week too. I'm still looking for my entry here, but it's probably going to take some time. The volatility is so low. Yeah, Vimal said potential momentum divergence, but no entry. Yeah, unfortunately, no entry here for us because it was right at open, but it looks like it would have hit. Yeah, there's just too many red flags here. I'm not going to FOMO into any of these trades. This is what happened last Friday. I FOMOed into a trade and I just ended up getting caught. Um, you just got to be smarter about it, right? That's how you get better at trading, guys. You just have to understand where you're making your mistakes, own up to it, and not make the same mistakes moving forward. Yeah, Nick, so that's what he was thinking, but he could not handle the drawdown. Was also very unaware of how things move. Also over leveraged himself because he had gone crypto rich, didn't understand finances. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Nick. You got to understand what you're doing with those accounts. Like, the Dow isn't meant to be traded unless you're trading the future. So, like for example, here we're trading the futures, so we're in and out pretty quickly. That's how you can kind of just pull money from the market. If you're going to put into it long term, or you're going to look for it to like kind of climb up, it's not like a crypto pump, right? You're not going to see it pump up like in a month or so. And even if you were to buy like a share of the Dow, it's expensive. So you need a lot. And you still wouldn't even make very much from there. So it just wouldn't make sense. Like with QQQ, I'm not really making very much on there. I'm making like maybe a couple, maybe like 10, 20, couple, maybe $100 on a day. And then the next day, if it's red, it's just gonna go back. It's just gonna be back to where it was, back to break even. That like reminds me, I'm gonna check it right now. Yeah, I'm up like $19 today. It was like up earlier this week and then it went back down and it went back up. It's just I don't even bother looking at my IRA accounts. I just let them sit. So basically with my IRA accounts, I just look at stocks that are kind of undervalued that are within that either pay dividends, they're in the Dow or they're an index. And I every year I deposit whatever the max contribution is. I think it's like 7,000. And then I put that in whatever stock I think will go up. And then I leave it there. I don't touch it for like the rest of the year. All right. The ATR is still super low, guys. It's currently at 11 right now. So obviously that just indicates that price is going to consolidate, which it already is. You guys can see here the consolidation around the support level, or not the support, the resistance level. There's not really too much going on here. It's just ranging, consolidating around this area here. We're getting these random big spikes of candles. Let's check that news from earlier today. It was negative. So it was negative, and that's pretty much it. We have the Fed speaking, well, Fed Waller, not the Fed, but Fed Waller speaking at 7:15. He's probably just going to wrap up the week with what was released this week with CPI news, PPI news, etc. But yeah, I think the market's just going to stay pretty flat. All right, so we got price swinging back down. As you guys know, the lower range is down here. The upper range is right here. So if price swings back down, it's fine. We can maybe look for an entry down in this area down here, but I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. There's just no volatility right now, so it's going to be hard to catch something. We got a lot of time though. It's 7:07, so we got like 40 minutes, 53 minutes to be exact till 8. So we got about an hour. Got about an hour for this to move. All right. Yeah, Nick said back towards the sessions. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, price is clearly just in a range. You guys can see over here, there's not really too much going on. Price is still in a range. I mean, even if price was to break above, there'd be like the 4 hour resistance up here. So it's just going to keep hitting structure back and forth. But I mean, realistically, price is just sitting within this range here. So I'm still looking for a buy here, but I don't think we'll be able to take one anytime soon because either way, if price swings back up, it's going to get caught at the opening price and news price. And then as it pushes up higher, same situation, right? All right. The low ATR is just going to further confirm that price is just going to keep consolidating. Until it picks back up, it's probably just going to keep staying flat. So you got price coming back towards the sessions. Again, I don't mind taking trades down here, but we just need price to push farther enough to get past these sessions down here. Because I'll trade right here down this lower area. But not really up here. So let's see. Let me go back to the let's check the YouTube chat real quick. So J-Dub is asking, thought you were going to stop streaming on YouTube. I just pop on YouTube every once in a while. It's not always on. I mean, lately it's been on because it's just automatic from when I go online. Like I have to go on and turn it off. And the thing is we've been starting like just on time. So I just don't, it's laziness really. Because I can just go on YouTube right now and turn it off if I wanted to. But when I go on the Zoom, it automatically streams to the YouTube. So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be on the YouTube forever. Now that you've mentioned it, Jay, you might have killed it for everyone else. I'm joking. I'm not going to turn it off now. But yeah, it's automatically streamed and I have to go into it and go through the settings and turn it off myself, which which it's just we started just on time and I barely have enough time to mark up the charts. So I haven't been able to I haven't really had the urge to go onto the YouTube and turn it off. We haven't had many trolls lately. So, I mean, that's a good thing. But of course, if people are going to troll, we're going to turn off YouTube. So, yeah, don't count on the YouTube always being around, but it'll be around if things stay calm on the YouTube. um, let's see. Nick over here said, Sean, quick, when your ATR is custom coded, it's one of the indicators that I created for it's the trailing stop. So the ATR down here is from the trailing stop indicator. It's one of the settings here that you can turn on to show ATR. If you turn it off, it doesn't show up, but if you turn it on, and then you can place it wherever you like. Jay's asking, are you using a different strategy? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. There's not really much here that's changed too much. I mean, obviously, there's like other strategies that will base off what we're already applying. They're just like mostly confluences, but you can also apply them as, standalone strategies. Most of the strategies now are used as confluence. I mean, there's obviously going to be like the main strategies that we apply, but there's going to be other strategies that can be used in confluence. Like what happened here with the momentum divergence. I know you haven't been here for a while. But what I did was I just basically cut up the momentum indicator. So this momentum divergence indicator down here is one of the factors that I use to put together the momentum indicator. So the momentum indicator has a bunch of different, a bunch of different code from different indicators and different tools and different parameters that I use to identify momentum. But this here is one of them. And I basically split it up so that we can start to see when momentum starts to shift, either when it starts to shift or when it starts to continue. So this is I think this is probably the newest thing that I've introduced. I mean, there's not even a video for it yet, but we've been using this as a confluence and also as a standalone strategy. It's probably the only thing that's really new. But it's not really new because it's basically the momentum indicator, but it's another tool used to identify the momentum. Let's see, visual said Bullnox has 90% off on EOD accounts. Pretty good deal. I always thought about using Bullnox. I forgot what it was about them though. There's something that prevented me from using them. I don't know if it's the copier or their account size or the rules or something, but I did look into Bullnox and I wanted to use them, but there was something, I think they just didn't allow copiers or something like that. But I think, I mean, there was something that stopped me, but I think they're good as a standalone funding company or a decent one at least. But if I was to choose between Bullnox and Apex, obviously I'd go with Apex. But yeah, that's a good deal. Oh, thanks, Visual, for mentioning that. Gotcha. Okay, so that's what it was. So Patricia said it's only rhythmic. That's the reason why I didn't use them. So I think Bullnox is cool, but since they're only rhythmic, I was using Top Step at the time, and you can only have like one rhythmic at a time, unless you're all on rhythmic. Because I'm using NinjaTrader, so it just wouldn't work out that way for me. Like if I was doing all rhythmic, it would make sense. I could hop on like Quant Tower or Sierra, but since I'm using NinjaTrader for my personal account, it wouldn't work out that way for me. And that's where my copier is too. Nice. I didn't even know that there's still an Instagram ad running. Yeah, you guys might have seen it. There's like an old Instagram ad that still runs on Instagram for the group. No, you're fine, Jay. Just messing with you. All right, so let's see. What we got over here is the Fed speaking. The Fed is now speaking right here at 7:15. Hopefully he pushes price around because the volatility is just very low right now. The trend's still bullish, so price swings back up. I mean, there's a possibility of it swinging up from here. The only problem is that the volatility is really low. ATR is currently at 12 right now. Yeah, Visual said I use Quant Tower and I copy between all my brokers, Apex, My Fund Future, and Bullnox. Yeah, I mean that would work if I had a Rhythmic account, but I'm not using Rhythmic. I'm using Ninja. You can't switch your accounts once they go to PA or once you start them. So yeah, I'm stuck with Ninja. And I use it for my personal account too. So and that's what I'm going to use for my hedge fund as well. So yeah, there's no workaround for me. Because if you're using Rhythmic, you can only log into one account, but you can't like in order to connect Rhythmic to NinjaTrader, you can only have one account at a time. But if you're using Quant Tower, it's different. Yeah, if I knew that initially, then I probably would have done that route because I heard Quant Tower has a better copier and the system is just a lot easier to use. And it's cheaper too, but it's all good. The NinjaTrader is just what I have to work with. So whatever funding companies will allow for NinjaTrader, then I will add them to my copier. Which wouldn't really matter because when I start the hedge fund, it's not going to make a big deal because I'm going to be focused on the hedge fund versus prop accounts. I'll be making way more money trading, um, everyone else's personal account versus trading with a prop firm. Natasha said, I'm struggling. I want to trade so bad. I know. Same here, Natasha. It's so I'm a little more okay with price coming down further from where it's currently at because it's closer to this side. So I think we'd have better opportunity for us to take an entry down here versus taking an entry up here, right? So we'll see. Yeah, Jay said I think price is going to go up, then down. Don't take my word for it though. No, I can see that. I mean, price can really go either way, Jay. So I agree with your analysis too. Um, it just makes more sense for price to push up because of all the other factors. But I mean, who knows, right? Price can really go in either direction. Looking over here at the fundamentals, let's take a look at the full picture again. So let's do this one more time. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently up 35 points. So this is neutral at the moment. It's pretty much going sideways. Looking over here at the retail sentiment, this is the reason why I'm looking for price to go up, because retail is on the sell side right now. So you guys can see over here at 75% short. This indicates that 75% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So that's why I would prefer to look for buys. Also looking over here at the technicals, you can see that the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10 minute are pretty much bullish neutral, but the higher time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour are all bullish, right? So if the shorter time frames are to follow, they would just swing up. So that's why for me personally, I'm looking for price to push up, but that's not necessarily going to be the case here because the market's so slow. So it could go either way. I mean, because the market's so slow right now, price could push up, or then vice versa, price may come down. It just doesn't really, it's hard to see and hard to tell. Let's see, Tom's asking BB3 slowly printing. So I wouldn't consider this a BB3 because this double body is the same candle color. So if you guys remember that, they have to be different candle colors. This usually happens when there's like a sideways market because there's really no double body here. This price pushed down and this candle pushed down as well. This candle would have to, like one candle would have to be green, one would have to be red to show that price pushed down and then pushed up for the reversal pattern, right? For this right here, it pushed down, but then because the market's moving so slow, it just pushed down again. So the push away is from the top end of this candle, and the push away is from the top end of this candle as well. So this wouldn't be considered a double body for the BB3 purposes. I would probably consider this right here. I mean, I know there's no low there, but if this here didn't push this far down, this would have been the double body that I would have identified. All right, so we got the buy signal here. We're still in a bullish trend. So price could push up. Let's see, Jay's asking, anyone buy FFIE recently? I've seen them I've seen that prop firm, they advertise super hard. Like, I don't know if anybody's seen that before, FFIE. If you're on Instagram and you're looking up anything trading, you're probably gonna get that ad. So I haven't used them. I just saw them, they advertise super hard. Usually if they advertise super hard, there's something wrong with their prop firm because they're putting so much money into advertising to get people to sign up. It's usually, there's something up, right? Because if you guys ever think about it, like back then, I never saw any advertising for FTMO, and FTMO was probably like the most legit one back then. But I did see a lot for MFF, and they went bankrupt. And we saw a lot for TFF, and they also went bankrupt. So just be careful for a lot of those prop firms who advertise super hard. Oh, you're talking about that. No, there's a prop firm called FFIE as well. Let me see if I could look them up. Or it might be called something, it looks something similar to that. There's another prop firm that's called like FF something. It might be FFYE or something like that. Let me see if I can find them. But I get their advertisement like every day. It's super annoying. If I see it, I'll take a screenshot, but it comes up like every day on my specifically on the Kodi Kai page. But no, I don't really buy into those meme stocks and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Daniel just mentioned it. So it's like FIXIFY or something. Yeah, he sees it too. I thought that's what you were referring to. It's just there's a lot of prop firms out there now. So just be careful with which the only prop firm that I can recommend would be Apex. That's literally the only one that I'd recommend to people. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so that ticker that Jay's referring to, so that it's up like 400%. So, the thing with I feel like the market makers and institutions, they're manipulating the market. They probably have like some fake person giving this information out to pump a certain stock, and then they're gonna pump it up, and then the market maker is just gonna dump price on them. Because Wall Street's not dumb. They've already gotten fucked once. They've gotten screwed once with the meme stocks. I'm pretty sure they're gonna find a way to manipulate people that way as well. They're gonna basically have someone on the inside pump up a stock, and then they're just gonna wait for the right time. They're gonna dump it all like on everybody. They're gonna find ways to make money off people. That's just how Wall Street works, right? That's why for me, I like to scalp because I get in and out of the market so quickly that I never get caught in any of those manipulated pushes. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot, or it's happened to you guys a lot, where the trade looks so perfect and then it just goes against you, and then you just keep getting stopped out because they purposely make the market look good like that. Because realistically, the retail is not pushing price around, right? You're not going to see retail traders pushing price around ever. The only time you'll see them push it is like for the cheap stocks or like penny stocks and stuff like that that can get pumped. But for the most part, like the currency market, that stuff's like way too expensive to actually push. Futures market, of course. Well, the thing with the futures market is like we're not really buying into the asset. So like the thing is when we're trading futures, we're trading, future price. We're not exactly pushing price up. Like when we're buying something, we're not necessarily pushing it because this is being pegged against the actual index. This is just basically a mirror of the Dow 30. So yeah, just gotta keep that in mind. All right, so price hasn't done anything this entire session. So if we go back to our clean chart here, price has been within this range. The only problem is that we can't trade within this range because let me pull up, where's my thing at? We can't trade within this range because there's all these sessions right in the middle. So there goes the sessions right there down the middle. Then on top of that, we have news and stuff right here down the middle as well. So uh, price hasn't really done much. It's within this big range over here. But the problem with that is that we can't get out of this range. Um, okay, so we got price now coming below at this point, and the ATR is super low. So like, as you can see over here, ATR has been like around like 10, 12. So that's why price is just going back and forth. Like you wouldn't even have to look at the chart. If you just looked at the ATR, you'd notice, okay, if the ATR is this low during New York session on open, this is probably going to indicate that price is in consolidation, or it's been in consolidation the entire day. All right, so I guess we'll just continue to wait here. It's about to be 7:30. I was really hoping we'd get something by now, or closer to like 7 o'clock, but there's just nothing going on. The Fed did speak at 7:15, or he might still be speaking, but it's nothing big. He's just going to be reiterating everything that was released this week. So just closing out the week with some remarks about all the news that was released. There was heavy news on Wednesday and Thursday yesterday. Today obviously is a flat day, so there's not really much movement. Again, price is just going back and forth, as you guys can see. There's no direction, not really much movement at all. So the good thing here is that we have a double body. Now this is the reversal pattern that might be the start for a bullish push. Now that we have the double body right here, this could possibly be the start of a push to the upside. Maybe. Maybe not. The ATR is just too low. So this would have been fine if we didn't have the red flags in between. Obviously, you guys can see we have the sessions down the middle. Then on top of that, we have opening price and we have news price right below it. So yeah, not exactly the not exactly the place we want price to be. Maul's asking if this is a CV. Yes, or no. Actually, it's not. It's not a CV because there's no trend right now. So if the trend was bullish, yes, it'd be a CV. But because there's no trend right here, it wouldn't be a CV. You have to trade in the direction of the trend. But that is a CV pattern. But also on top of that, it's right at the sessions. So, I mean, a whole bunch of reasons not to take the trade. For one, there's no trend. The trend meter is blue. Pivots aren't trending either. On top of that, it's touching the sessions on both candles. And that's, we consider a red flag. So you can technically take a CV in either direction. If you really want to take the CV in either direction, you can. So when I first tested the strategy, I went in both directions and it works. So you can see over here, there's a high here with a small red candle. This could have been a CV in the opposite direction, right, against the trend. So if you want to trade it, you can trade it. It's just I started to realize that although there was a lot of entries, there was also a lot of losses because of the you're trading against the trend. So again, right here, another CV high with a small red candle, CV right there, CV right there. If you wanted to take the CV right here, again, same thing. The CV works really well in a consolidating market. So like right here, this type of market that's very slow, this could work very well for this type of market. I think if you want to take a CV and you want to take like every entry, you can probably do a 10-10. You can do a 10-10 TP stop loss, and then you can possibly catch a bunch of entries. And if you lose, it's not a big deal because it's just one trade. You'll probably find another one along the way. So just a thought. So if you guys wanted to apply the CVs like that. So if that's something you want to do, Vimal, it's very possible and you can do it. I would recommend back testing it though, because when I first tested it, it looked good, but it depends on the market. Like the market has to be very, very slow. Like it has to be a ranging market like what we're currently in right now. We're a consolidating market. Because 10 points is feasible as long as you're like within the range. But if price is moving directional, so for example, like this one over here, right? This is a huge candle right here, or I mean, I guess it wouldn't meet criteria, but if you had a huge candle like that, a 10-10 wouldn't work out because it would probably swing up to retrace to stop you out, and then it would go back in that direction. Yeah, exactly. Mal said, yeah, better take in the direction of the trend. I agree. All right, so we got price finally picking up a little bit. We have a sell signal right here. We have the trend starting to shift a little bit. We'll see if this here closes. Again, it rejected off these sessions right here, and it's swinging right back up, unfortunately. All right, no direction again. So what I'm going to do here is I'll probably hang around a little longer, maybe closer towards 8. If the ATR gets a little too low though, I'm gonna call it for the day. Right now it's currently at 11. So if it goes below like 9 ATR, then I'm probably gonna call it for the week. There's just no direction, there's no movement, price is consolidating, there's nothing really going on here. So I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. But for the most part, as you guys can see over here, the ATR is very low and there's just no movement. Price is just going sideways. So yeah, here's our clean chart. You can see it a little bit clearer here. Not really much going on. Yeah, exactly. Sadie said pivots telling no direction. I agree. I was hoping price would come down. It looked like it was going to start moving all of a sudden, but then it just rejected off the sessions and came right back up. Hey, what's up, Marty? Doing great, man. I haven't seen you here in a while. Good to see you here. Yeah, we're doing good. We're just hanging out. There's no entries that have come up yet. Price has pretty much been ranging, consolidating the entire day. There wasn't really much news today, so it's kind of expecting today to be a little slow, but we're hoping for it to at least move a little bit so we can take something here. So we got some more profits here. Again, here's Kenneth's profits. He made 10,290 for the day, so 37,702 for the week. And then we have David over here with a total profit of 135. Nice work, David. Yeah, great profits, guys. You guys are doing great. I mean, you guys did pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people here are just catching little entries as, my analysis plays through, but I haven't taken anything here yet because none of my official entries have showed up. There's a lot of smaller entries that are just kind of popping up out of like, these little pockets over here. But for the most part, there's just too many red flags. The session's down here. I can't take any trades around this area. We have opening price right here with news price. Can't take any trades around that area. So I need price to either push up here for me to take something, or I need price to push down here. But I mean, you guys can see for the past hour, price has been sitting right down here in the middle of all of these red flags for the most part. Yeah, I also take all this stuff off. So let's just turn everything off real quick. Yeah, you guys can see nothing's really going on here. It's we get close to pushing out of it and then it comes back down. Close to it, goes back down, etc. And there's just nothing. Nothing for us to take here. It's 7:34 right now. ATR is currently at 10, so I'm hopeful that this is going to pick back up. A lot of you guys have noticed that the market picks up a little later. Not even like right now, it picks up like around 9. So mid-session around 9, 10, 11, that's where the market starts to pick up or how it's been picking up. But I mean, for the most part, it's flat. Kevin said Scotty still made his tea time, right? All right. So I'm hoping for some sort of push. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just enough for us to like maybe get some sort of opportunity here. See if there's any structure here. All right, so we got a little bit of some structure here. I'll draw this up. Okay, so this is the actual range for today. So there's a lower range right here, price pushed up, came in, retest and established the resistance here. Price came down, retested the 4-hour support, and then it kind of ranged here for a little bit, broke up into this new range, and price has been ranging between this area for basically the past hour. Price is starting to climb up a little bit here now, so it's looking a little decent, not great, but it's looking a little decent. We have the trend over here, which is bullish. We have the trend meter down below, which is green again, so it's also bullish. We got the ATR, which is currently 10.4, not very high, but it is picking up a little bit. So I'm looking for some opportunities here. I'm looking for price to push up, retrace or consolidate here a little bit, come back up, and provide possible opportunity for entry somewhere around here. So somewhere around here, somewhere up here, doesn't really matter, somewhere around this area. Yeah, if I'm all set, if it breaks up, potential momentum divergence or MPS. MPS is unlikely because of the low ATR, but a momentum divergence possibility. I mean, we might even get a momentum divergence down here, guys. So just think about that too. No, we're not going to have enough space for momentum divergence down here. Even if price was to retrace down a bit, we wouldn't have enough space because we'd be so close to this here. And also, you guys can see how the pivots are like literally going sideways. This is what caught us on Monday, right? I took a stupid trade when the pivots were going sideways like this. Like it was a dumb FOMO move for a high level momentum scalp. And then I got caught in it. So wait for the pivots to kind of spread out a bit. All right, so now we're getting the push down. I don't care where price goes. Like realistically, I don't care where price goes. I'm okay with it pushing down here. I'm okay with it pushing up here. I just need it to push somewhere. Like, doesn't matter where it goes. It can come down, it can go up. Doesn't really matter to me. But you guys can see over here from where the price is currently at. I mean, it's just sitting right here down in the middle of the range. Let's see, HP is asking, what does it mean when pivots are spread out? When it's spread out, that means that market is trending. So if you look over here at the pivots, you see how they're spread out right here? Price is trending at that moment. So you can see how it turned green right here with the trend meter. It was showing that price was starting to trend. And then when it started to spread out, it showed that price was moving directional in that trend. And then it came back down. Same with this down here. It's the same, but in the opposite direction. This is on market open though. So this is kind of relevant. You want to look at like so this is London session in pre-market New York. See how the pivots over here started to spread out? You can see the trend was bullish. Came up nice. But again, you want to look at a time where the market's actually moving. So this right here is London session. Bullish move up to the upside. Again, right here. And you can see how strong they get. So whenever they spread out like that, typically price will push up, retrace, and then continue. Same with the bottom way. The pivots over here spread out, they come down, retrace, and continue down lower. So if you look at a time when the market's actually volatile, this is how the market's supposed to move. Like right now, this is how the market should be moving at this time because this is open for a New York session, right? Like this is open for London. So that's why the volatility is high. You have a nice smooth trend right here and directional movement. But if you compare it to New York session, which is very unusual, it tried to push up right here, but then obviously you can see that it just went sideways for the entire session. So that is kind of like what they're, but they're not really used for that. They're used for the whole reason the pivot indicator was created was for the bounces. So you're supposed to use it to identify the trend and you see how price kind of rejects off the pivots. That's why they're called pivots because price comes down and it pivots away from it. That's what they were originally made for, but we started using it as a confluence for the trend. It's not necessary, but it is used for the trend as well. There's just a lot of different ways to use the tools. Jay said when the pivots spread out like that, I mean, she's ready, she's ready to go. Pretty much. Let's see, so HP is asking, are the pivots similar to moving averages? So we get that question a lot, right? Just because they're lines don't mean that they're moving averages. Like that's why people refer to them as moving averages or they think they're moving averages. But if you put a moving average next to these pivots, they're not going to be aligned with each other. So they look like moving averages, but they're not. And you can try yourself, HP. If you want to put lines on your chart and then you turn on the pivots next to it, you'll see that they're not going to be aligned with each other. Because it's the way that I quoted these pivots are different. I just use ribbons because they're easier. I could have used like areas, right? Like I don't know if I could change it here, but I could change it to like if you wanted to see an area there, you can see the area where price bounces off, right? Like that could be done too. But I use lines because lines made the most sense and it's just easier to see. Because if you were to do it this way, you can catch the bounces like this as well, right? Price comes down, bounces off. That'd be the pivot off the structure. But I use lines because I want to be able to see through it and I want to be able to see when price kind of shifts around. So I wouldn't compare them to moving averages. There's a whole bunch of people like I forget what's his name. There was a guy here in the group, and I'm not going to call him out because I don't want him to feel bad. But he thought he knew everything. He was in this group, and he was like, "Oh yeah, these are just like the pivots are just like moving averages." So what he did was he kind of went on his own, and he just started using moving averages, thinking that they were pivots, and then he just kept blowing accounts. And then he came back to the group, and then he tried to use the pivots again, and then he did the same thing again. He's like, "Oh, these are just like moving averages." So he did the same thing, left. And you guys, if you guys are familiar with the group, you probably know who I'm talking about. There's like a guy that would come for a little bit, pass a bunch of accounts, blow his account, pass his accounts with us, leave, try to do his own thing, blow all the accounts, go a little crazy, come back, do the same thing, and then he's in a cycle, in the same circle every day. See Suk here? That's your mentee, Sisu. Your mentee that he'll be back again. He's like working a normal job right now, trying to save up funds, but uh yeah, it's just crazy. But the thing with him is that he was just addicted. So like with him, he he would blow an account and then he would get the account, another account the same day. Like he was on FTMO, he would blow an account and then get another account and then blow an account, but he would do it all the same day. Like say, for example, today he was trading with us and we're like, oh, you shouldn't trade because there's no volatility in the market. He would blow his account taking some random trades. And then that same exact day, he would go and buy another account. So he would lose like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every single day. Um, and it's all good. I mean, people go through that cycle, but when you're in that type of when you're delusional to that point where I don't know, it becomes an addiction. It's like you really got to step away from trading. And I mean, sometimes that's just what people need, right? Some people just need to take a break from trading sometimes. They come back fresh and then they realize the mistakes they made, and then they're just a lot better. So it's okay to take breaks sometimes. Let's see. All right, so we got the trend over here starting to push up. 744 right now. The ATR is around 9, guys. So like I said earlier, I'm gonna hang around for a bit, but if the ATR goes below 9 and it's getting really close to it, I might have to wrap it up for the week because I just don't want to FOMO into any trades here last minute. All right, so 7:45 right now. We got about 15 minutes till 8. Yeah, Jacob said took a year off, learned what I was doing wrong, came back super strong. Yeah, no, 100%. That's sometimes that's what people need to do. They just need to take a break off and then just come back fresh and then like come back as a new person basically. Because what happens with a lot of people is, and a lot of people in this group is they join from other groups. So I'm sure a lot of you guys here came from a different group. You guys are not familiar with like the way that I trade. And not it doesn't sit well with a lot of people because a lot of people like going on the higher time frames. They like trading, all throughout the day. And it just doesn't sit well with like their trading style. So like when they trade the way we do, they have certain profitability in the beginning, and then they start to factor in a lot of the old information that they knew, and then they start losing. So, and then they start blaming the system, right? So sometimes it's good to just step away, come back fresh, and then just learn everything like as a new trader. Because if you stop trading for a year, you're probably gonna forget a lot of the stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Mal said I think we should start our weekend. Market may arrange the whole evening. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying too. So we'll see. We're gonna hang out for a little bit longer, and we'll see. This might pick up at the last second. So looking at this right here, guys, there was actually a momentum divergence that came up right here, but I think it was too close to the news price. So there is a momentum divergence that's actually running right now, right here, but it would have to cut into the news price. So obviously not something I would take. I just want to take a look at this to see if I missed anything there. Yeah, and Jacob said you forget bad habits when you take time off. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Like the bad habits of like blowing accounts and then starting back up again, right? That's why for me personally, whenever I lose a trade, I'm usually done for the day. I'll continue analyzing the charts, but I have enough discipline to just stop trading for the day. And that's something a lot of people don't have, of course. It's tough. It's tough to stop trading because when you lose a trade, you want to revenge trade your way back into profit, but in a lot of instances, it's probably best to just not. right, let's see what else we've got over here. There's just nothing, there's nothing pushing price around here. As you guys can see, price is going sideways. It's not super obvious here, but going over here to the clean chart, you guys can see that it's pretty obvious. Price has been within this range for the past. I mean, I'm surprised it's been ranging this long. So it's been ranging for over an hour. So let's see, I'll put a date range right here. So pretty much from this candle to this candle right now where we're currently at. Price has been ranging for 1 hour and 7 minutes. And it's like a pretty clear range. It's not like random spikes. It's just a clear sideways movement for over an hour here. And the worst part is that it's ranging within the red flag. So there's just nothing that you can even take here if you wanted to. Let me see if there's anything else here that I can see. I mean, there's just nothing here. CJ said it's National Pizza Party Day and Pinot Grigio Day. Maybe people are out celebrating. Yeah, that might be the case, right? Everyone's at the pizzeria right now. Everyone's at the pizzeria and at the the winery is getting wine at 7 a.m. Now, maybe on New York time, right? Because it's technically 8, 9, 10. Yeah, or in UK time, right? UK time. UK is like afternoon over there right now. So you could be right, CJ. I think that's the reason behind the slow market. Daniel said, wouldn't be the first time I've been drunk at 7 a.m. There's actually a lot of stuff going on right now, like EDCs this weekend too. You have all the there's just a lot of things going on. There's a ton of things going on this weekend. Yeah, Vimal said it's 3:50 in UK right now, afternoon. Makes sense. All right, guys. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen here so far. ATR is currently at 8. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Barack's done for the day. Barack's done for the day. That's a sign because Barack's never done. This guy says he's done and he's still on here. Like, what was it? It was yesterday, I think, or the day before that. Barack was like, all right, I'm out. And then he pops back in the chat like, oh, that was a good analysis, Sean. Or he posted that he got a profit. But yeah, guys, there's just nothing going on here. I wish there was something we could take. I wanted to close out this week with at least one more trade, but if this is how we got to end the week, this is how we got to end the week. Daniel said, I think I would die if I go to EDC again. My body can't handle 3 days of partying. No, I know, same here. 100%. There's no way I could do any of those festivals. I mean, maybe like one day, but it wouldn't even be a full day. It would be like maybe a half day, and then I would still leave early. All right, guys. So there's not really much going on here. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I was really hoping we'd get at least like as we inch closer and closer to 8 o'clock, I was hoping we just get a random spike here to push price out of this area, or a random spike to push price down here. But yeah, there's just nothing here. Yeah, Nick said I would miss my house when I walk through the gate. No, same here. I feel exactly the same way. But all right, guys, it's 7:52 right now. We're really not getting a push here. I know as much as we want to wait and hope for this to push, I don't think there's going to be a push here. There might be a push after 8 o'clock, or maybe even closer to 9. So 8 o'clock is right here. This is like my official cutoff, and 9 o'clock is over here. So I think market will probably start to pick up as we get closer to 9 o'clock, maybe around like 8:30, something like that. But I mean, realistically, if you just look at how price is moving here, we're not going to get a push up in about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to wrap it up. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to put together I think this is a break-even week for us, right? We just have like slight profit. Might be a break-even week. I'll put the totals up later. But yeah, if you guys have any more profits, we have some more profits here from Cam. Cam locked in 1,000 per account. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Small loss right there. So we're gonna say well over 10,000 for the day. Nice work, Cam. Damn, Cam stacked up on those 250 accounts, huh? Looking good, bro. So yeah, your profit here is looking nice. Your 250 accounts are stacking up. And yeah, so another thing too, guys, with those 250 accounts, I think the you guys got to read the fine print. So for those 250 accounts, in order to get the promo for the PAs, you have to finish within like be by the end of the month. So you have like less than 2 weeks to finish. So step on it if you guys are trying to get that $85 PA fee. Because it's gonna come by quick. So all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next, or sorry, not tomorrow, Monday for the next live session. So all right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys back